Yay. Yay. Welcome, guys, to the second episode of the Square Circle Sessions podcast. I am Humam.
I am also Rob.
Great opener.
What an opener.
What an opener, brother.
Listen to that opener. They love me, bro. I'm so over.
In this episode, we are gonna talk about all the stuff that happened the last month. You know, the biggest thing being there's a lot of insane stuff like the rated R superstar Adam Copeland moving to AEW, Jade Cargill getting signed, possible very heavy rumors that CM Punk might be getting back to WWE, and of course the cream el crop WWE Fastlane 2023, the review.
One thing we also forgot about that we said we'd talk about a couple of weeks ago was the wrestlers documentary. We can give that 10 minutes.
Oh yeah. That's actually pretty good. All right, so let's start with possibly the biggest, the most newsworthy story of this month, which is that fucking reporter who asked Io Sky, "Would you wrestle Taylor Swift at WrestleMania?"
I didn't watch the whole press conference. I just watched the Cody Jey segment. So.
Me neither, but I saw a clip of Triple H, like just after, like when he came, like it's his time, he just sat down and was like, "Please, no questions about Taylor Swift, guys. Thank you."
That was actually AI. He actually said, "Please, no questions about CM Punk."
And someone made the awful AI version of Taylor Swift singing Broken Dreams, the old Drew McIntyre song. And he responded and he was like, "All right, after this, no questions about Taylor Swift for me either." But no, in all seriousness, Adam Copeland.
One thing, before we get there, because it's kind of semi-related, but it happened before that, but still after the last podcast we did, was all the release season.
Oh boy. Yeah, let's start with the heavy one.
My answer about who I'm most disappointed in, but you can ask me after you answer. But who are you most disappointed that's gone?
Well, I love Dolph. I really didn't expect it, to be honest. So I'm more like shocked. But we've seen it before. We've seen it when they released Braun Strowman and Bray Wyatt. That was like huge when that came out the first time. But the person I'm most sad about is Mustafa Ali. I'm a big Mustafa Ali fan. He was actually slated to win the North American Championship from Dom Dom, and Shawn Michael in an interview got a little bit heated. He was like, "Yeah, I didn't know about the release until..." What the fuck is this impression? I don't know. Like, "Well, I didn't know about this release until they told us."
That's John Laurinaitis. All right.
I don't know, man.
Listen, man. I didn't know about that release. I'm sorry, brother.
Do you watch Maven's YouTube channel?
Yes, I actually was going to bring that up in a bit. I think his channel is really good, and yeah, he does a really good Johnny Ace impression as well.
It's really fucking hilarious. But yeah, I guess
the episode where he talks about when they offered him to come back in 2007 when he was working for the Home. Like the impression in that episode, like I popped every time he did it because he did it like 5-6 times throughout the videos.
Yeah.
So shout out
to Maven. Yeah.
Sorry. One thing I love about his channel as well is that half the videos he's just driving somewhere. It's actually a very like dynamic way to do a video. I really like it. I don't know why it keeps me interested.
The guy who's doing it with he's a vet. Apparently, he's a YouTube vet, and he knows what he's doing. I mean, he got to almost 100K in like less than a month, which is fucking nutty. For a former wrestler who doesn't just have a podcast, who was like, "What the fuck are they doing, bro? Where's the leg drops?"
Anyway, you were saying about the person you're most disappointed.
Yeah, Mustafa Ali, and I know for you, it's your boy Nick Nemeth, Dolph and Ziggler.
Yeah, Dolph Ziggler, the greatest missed potential in WWE history, in my opinion.
Yeah, I
think he really he's as good a wrestler as AJ Styles, in my opinion. As a wrestler, I think AJ capitalized on his opportunity better.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, it's hard to Like you see that Dolph he's great. Like pretty much everything they handed him, he tried to make something out of it. Even the stupid shit, like the Lana storyline, for example.
And like, I mean, he was given an initial gimmick that should have buried everyone in the group.
Yeah,
the Spirit Squad should have buried everyone.
He was the caddy for Kerwin White before. Let's not forget before.
Yeah, also, sorry. So he's had like multiple gimmicks that he should have been buried for.
Yeah, I loved his initial gimmick, not his initial like main roster gimmick, hi, I'm Dolph Ziggler, and he's like shaking people's hands, and then like it was legit. I remember the first time I saw him, it was like he interrupted Batista, and he just came, he was like, Dolph Ziggler, nice to meet you. And I'm like, what the fuck is this guy? And then he lost the match after that, but then I'm like, all right, that's Dolph Ziggler. I know this guy. And my favorite, probably my top 10 feuds of all time is the trilogy between him and Miz for the IC title. That was main eventing SmackDown, main eventing pay-per-views.
Mm-hmm.
Like, come on, man.
Yep.
So it seems like he's given up, like he's not gonna come back. But I think he's the one who should, who Tony should, go to him immediately.
If he wants to wrestle, I mean, he could be a main eventer, but do I think AEW can actually do it? No. In my opinion, I don't think that they could build him.
Maybe it would be cool if he can just.
I think they've kind of built one guy. Like, they've built one guy who wasn't already pretty over before he came.
MJF?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And MJF kind of built himself, in my opinion.
And a little bit Adam Page, like
a little bit, but they just did that by making him the first champion, right? Like, that's it. That's all they did.
He wasn't the first champion. No, Jericho was the first champion.
No, he
lost.
Was the first champion.
No. That's the thing.
Really?
Everyone thought that he's gonna get it, and everyone was like, "Oh, fuck this shit." And then Jericho wins it, and then Moxley wins it, and then Omega wins it, and then Adam Page wins it.
Okay, well, anyway, I don't know. To
me, he's a little bit more legit from when I started watching AEW. At the beginning, I was like, I don't care about this guy. The Bucks and Omega are cooler. Cody has something going for him, and then what the fuck is this guy? But now I'm like, yeah, Hangman is dope.
Yeah, okay, fine. But I don't know. I feel like there's going to be this still perception of him that he's like, going to lose anyway. And there's going to be a lot to do to get over that, basically. Yeah, I wouldn't do it if I was him. I think he's like really well suited to NWA, which had actually some significant developments this week as well. Don't know if you heard about it.
No, what happened?
So basically, Billy Corgan showed up at this smaller promotions show with who's the NWA World Champion right now? Is it EC3?
Yeah,
with EC3, and basically announced that he had purchased that promotion and that it's called NWA, whatever it was.
Is it MLW?
No, it was very like a local promotion.
Okay.
And it's called NWA, and the original promotion's name like beside it, and that he's bringing back the territory system basically.
All right.
He's going to start to purchase a bunch of small promotions and bring back the territory system, basically.
Until he buys WWE and UFC.
Yeah.
And he turns it into his personal ping pong hall.
Nice.
That's a little...
I feel like we haven't done a single podcast on this channel or any channel that hasn't referenced the social network.
I mean, it is only the greatest movie of all time. What can I say?
Anyway, back to the original topic. Who are you happiest about that got released? Who are you glad?
Bruh. No one.
Who are you happy lost their job? I was pretty happy about the 300 staff members that got fired. I think it was pretty...
Jesus Christ.
I'm kidding.
I don't want to have a black dot next to my name if I ever get to WWE. You know what I mean?
Come on, there has to be someone who you didn't like that got released.
It's not that I don't like. It sucks to anyone to lose their job. Some of them I'm just indifferent about. Like, I'm not even going to name names, but there are someone's are... Who?
What happened to The Rock's daughter? What was the situation there? Because she was in a faction on NXT, and then they disbanded, right?
She's still there.
But there was like rumors that she was going to get released or something. Nah,
she's still there. She's holding schism with Joe Gacy.
Didn't schism break up?
No, like only the grizzled young vets left because they legit want to leave WWE. So it's still, okay. And I think now they're breaking up Gacy and her name, I think, is Ava something. Ava Rain, shit name. She is, I think she's going to become a single star, but I think she's still a little bit green, brother. I don't know if I want to see that.
All right. Guess we'll see.
Because they're bringing Joe Gacy to the main roster.
Joe Gacy.
Yeah.
So I realized something today that's a bit embarrassing. I genuinely did not realize that JD McDonagh was Jordan Devlin until this morning.
Really? That's what JD is.
I only realized because I played 2K22 and he was there, and I was like, "What the fuck?" Oh, okay.
But did you just think that JD McDonagh is just a new guy?
I assumed he was someone from NXT UK, but I just didn't put the face, didn't connect the faces.
That's what JD is for, Jordan Devlin, you know? Okay.
Jordan Devlin McDonagh is a terrible name.
Well, what can he do? Braun breaker.
I'm pretty sure he's the whole reason that Irish guy was on commentary on Raw, so they could have someone who could say his name correctly.
Kevin Patrick, yeah. Default commentator. I think he should. Like, no, I'm
You think he should get released? Say it.
No, I didn't say it. I didn't say it.
You thought it. All right. What do we?
Adam Copeland to AEW. I know Edge is. I think he's your favorite wrestler of all time, right?
Yeah, he's my favorite wrestler of all time.
So,
but Adam Copeland doesn't even break the top 50.
So, Christian main events, AEW, Wrestle Dream, Darby Allin, lights go out. You think you know me? Is that Beth? Maybe Beth. I don't know. Big pop. And Adam Copeland comes out. What are you thinking at this moment?
I think that it was so heavily reported that it wasn't surprising.
Yeah, I think so too. Like the way
I think it was probably. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just about to say the way they just like that when so far from my experience, when the rumors are like heavy and they keep repeating about the same topic, then it's like 90% true. Like it's the same thing with
when
Punk,
you have like everyone talking about it. Like when, to be honest, I probably trust Sean Ross Sapp the most. He tends to get a lot right.
Mm-hmm.
So when a bunch of people report it and he hasn't, I don't really fully believe it. But he said it like weeks before, basically.
Yeah,
it happened. So
yeah.
But yeah, I'm okay with that. One thing that just came into my mind that I didn't think of, because I'm like, I would have probably preferred if he stayed in WWE personally, just because I watch it more. But he's involved with the one storyline from AEW that I have been keeping track of because it's hilarious.
Christian versus wrestlers with dead fathers.
Christian versus wrestlers that have no dads. My favorite storyline AEW
Bro,
the
segment. I don't know who thought of it, but he's a genius. The segment on Wrestle Dream when they were doing Antonio Inoki like memorial in the pre-show, and
his sons are in the ring, and it just yeah. Do you see the press conference? They asked him if that guy what's his name, Nick
Wayne,
the guy that he has with. Have you ever seen Nick Wayne wrestle? And he was like, "No, I've never seen Nick Wayne wrestle." Have you seen that?
No.
Yeah, that was really funny. But one thing I
do have one pet peeve.
Go on.
I love Christian a lot. Like when he had the World Heavyweight Championship and the feud with Orton in 2011, that was probably my favorite feud that was going on at that time because the Punk stuff with Cena was good, but then after Money in the Bank it kind of got mid. After Money in the Bank it got mid until he won in Survivor Series. So. And when Christian finally had his moment at Extreme Rules, Edge was there to celebrate with him, which I guess is cute, nice, friends, you know. Edge just retired, so he's happy for his friend. And now Christian finally gets to fucking main event an AEW pay-per-view, and then Edge is also part of it.
Yeah.
Which kind of ticks me a little bit on, I'm a big Christian Cage fan, William J. Ritho fan.
I only found out his first name was William, like the day after WrestleDream as well.
They keep calling him Jay, so I don't know.
I assumed his name was JD McDonagh. To be honest.
Oh, that's why you're surprised. Like, yo, Christian got so short, man. What happened?
Yeah, what the hell? One thing that I'm happy about that I didn't consider until like maybe a minute and a half ago is that, okay, so when we were, I think I might have talked about this in the last podcast, I don't remember, but when we were at Money in the Bank in London, I like really wanted to see Edge because he'd been out for a month or something.
Yeah.
No, he was on SmackDown like 2 weeks before, but had no program. So I was like, I hope he comes out to something. Couldn't really think of what he was going to do, but maybe something.
Uh-huh.
And then the whole SmackDown, nothing happened. He wasn't there on SmackDown, and not for the dark match either, which we thought might be the best chance we have to see him.
Yeah. Halfway
through Money in the Bank, between each match, when they have like they just clean the ring and stuff, they played these like ads like they do on the pay-per-view you see on the network or on Peacock, and Edge's music hit, and I was like, "Let's go!" And then it was an ad for a documentary about Edge that was going to be released like the week after, and I was like, "Fuck me!" But then Cena came out like right afterwards, so I kind of forgot about it. But
we might get to see him in All In too.
This is my thought. That's what I was just getting to. We will probably get to see him at All Out 2 as long as he doesn't retire or die in the meantime.
Jesus Christ. No, I think he's gonna perform at All In too, because he has to. He got to.
Well, he said that
he got to come to London.
He said on the 4-year anniversary that he wanted to be there for the 8-year and the 12-year anniversary. So
yeah. His involvement with the Christian storyline is still, I'm still on the side, like, I'm still undecided about it because I like what Christian is doing and I don't want Adam Copeland to steal, like, because he's coming in pretty hot. Everybody loves him. He's probably gonna, like, Christian's probably gonna drop the title to Edge.
Hot, though? Ratings aren't everything, but they've been pretty god awful since he joined.
Well, instead, like, aside from ratings, people are talking about it. Like, his comeback segment is the most viewed of the whole pay-per-view. Even his segment with, like, his promo segment with Christian, where Christian told him to go fuck himself, which was fucking gold. It's also, like, has 2 million views or some shit like that. Side note, I like that WWE is looking at what AEW is doing, and they're doing like some new stuff with their YouTube after the show. Like, they're doing a highlight, like kind of like 15-20 minute video of like.
That's how I watch Raw and SmackDown.
Yeah,
now. I watch that.
And if there's something that is really popping, they put the full segment there. Like when the go home ending of SmackDown, when Cody and Jey Uso showed up on SmackDown, they put the whole thing there. Fucking top notch.
Okay, you're not that happy about the storyline, but where else would you bring him in?
Edge?
30-second fantasy booking. How else would you bring him in to AEW?
I would say he would come in and he'd just be like, yo, I'm on a retirement tour and I just want to wrestle everyone.
But then he grabs then he's like, everyone's like cheering, yeah? And then he's like, and by retirement tour, I'm going to retire everyone that I wrestle with. And the stipulation is reversed.
Ooh. Jesus Christ. I think that's too complicated.
And his gimmick is that he's like a WWE sleeper agent. And he's like trying to destroy AEW by retiring everyone.
I think there's a potential for him to team with FTR because he likes them. They're good friends. The Hardys are there. So they can possibly do like one last tag team where they legitimately all kill themselves like at the final spot and nobody wins and they just like retire together.
Yeah, so there's 2 things about the Hardys, right? Jeff, let's not talk about the specifics, but he's got issues right now.
He can still do it.
Issues. And then I don't know if you've seen like Rebby Sky and Matt Hardy's social media is like for the last 2 years. It's pretty bad. I saw a post from Reby Sky, and she said some bullshit about some wrestler that got released, I think, from WWE, and then her whole comment section was just basically comments to the effect of, "You're only famous for fucking the Hardy brother that no one cares about."
Damn. Yeah. They do market their kids a lot. Like apparently, there's a thing going on where like he just shows his kids wearing goth, or his baby wearing goth clothes, and he's called Goth Baby. Because I was watching AEW and then Matt Hardy showed up, and then Ava was like, "Holy shit, that's Goth Baby Dad." I'm like, "Who?
What?
What are you talking about?" And then she showed me the
Goth
Instagram.
Baby Dad?
Goth Baby Dad. And apparently his youngest kid now, he has like an Instagram where he's just dressed in goth, and he's called Goth Baby. And sometimes Matt Hardy is there, sometimes Reby is there, and then it's just like Goth Baby Dad, Goth Baby Mom.
Okay, let's move on from this. I'm okay. I'm finished talking about these people now.
The shittiest thing that I heard is Edge hits the execution on Luchasaurus, I think, on Collision, and they called it the Copelocution. Did you hear some of the fucking trademarks he filed? The worst one, in my opinion, is ledge, and like with the ED edge, like with the edge in it.
I think they should trademark Edge and Christian. It's available. I sent that to you, right?
I think just trademark ENC.
But that's Edge easy. And Christian itself is available. Like,
yeah, but how can they call him Edge and Christian if they're both, like, Christian is called Christian, but he's called Adam? So
I don't know.
Please welcome.
Everyone knows he's Edge.
Adam Copeland and Christian Cage. Edge and Christian.
Edge and Christian.
Oh man!
They can bring back Edge and Christian's show that totally reeks of awesomeness.
Oh man, that's the best shit ever. That's the best shit. I still remember one time you and me were just like watching it. I think we were just zoned out. We weren't really watching. And there's this bit where Bailey just like shows up out of nowhere, and instead of hugging, Christian just like locks up with him, and then that's it.
Oh yeah. All right. In other AEW news, but this one is more WWE related. What's your take on Punk coming back to WWE?
I'm into it.
Do you think it will happen, first of all?
I think it will happen. The shit that they're doing on TV, like, you know, WWE, they won't do stuff like this unless they are actually going to do something about it. Like when they were doing the Cody teases before Mania, you know, everyone was like, nah, they're just playing. But WWE doesn't like to play with people if they're not, they're not cheeky like that. They're not cheeky, no.
I don't know if you read today's news, today being the 10th of October. I don't know when this is. I guess this is going to come out tomorrow or Wednesday. I don't know.
Tomorrow, probably.
This week. Tomorrow. So this is the 11th. It's also why we're not going to talk about NXT, by the way, because we have no idea.
Yeah. NXT till Mania.
But, but today's news is that Vince has been officially outed from creative.
Yep.
And I think Hunter would play with people to get a reaction.
He does business. He does business well. I think he comes in at Survivor Series. They do the whole thing with like Seth gets an open challenge, and it is Punk, and Punk immediately wins the title, and then Seth can go take his break because he's battered now. He needs a break, and that's how you get him back. Like, I don't think he should go for Roman. Maybe he'll have a match with him, but he will just lose.
Well, they could do like Night of Champions or something.
Yeah,
thing where they have a match, but not for the title.
But I don't. He's gonna get a pop, but I think they should play into like him being like an anti-hero more. Like he's like, I'm here for the money. I want a main event. I'm back to do it the right way.
I think what could be funny is if like they give him all this outlandish merch, like ice cream bars, like to show that it's like milk every single dollar out of his name, and that's his gimmick. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, he's on a retirement tour, so he never has to leave the house again. Basically,
the one thing I don't want him to do is I don't want him to interact with LA Knight. Maybe in a promo, like but not just the two of them. Like there's people here, and then LNA comes out. He just takes a couple of shots on Punk, and then that's it.
No, that's the thing. Do you think Punk will do business properly?
I think in WWE he will. I think in WWE he will. He has people that will fucking show him the way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I also think in WWE probably if he'll just get fired immediately.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if any of that stuff happens.
He lasted that long with AEW because Tony has a boner for him. That's why.
And their numbers have fucking tanked since he left. So Tony has rightfully has a boner for him.
To be honest, like just personally, when like I didn't even check clips of Dynamite because I'm just like whatever. But when Collision started, I watched Collision. I watched like full episodes. I was always checking the videos because I thought it was like a different thing. And now since he left, it's like Dynamite 2.0. It's like
well, the Bucks showed up like immediately, right? Like the Elite, they showed up like.
And they did and Matt Jackson did like a victory lap around the ring, which is fucking insane. Imagine like Triple H firing Dolph Ziggler and then go into Cleveland and he's like.
Yeah, it's I don't know. I do think that Punk was a massive problem, like attitude wise.
Yeah.
I think that the Elite are a bigger problem.
Yeah, I don't know.
In terms of building something like what WWE has, like this prestige company that's never going to go away, I think that they are the blockers for that.
Yeah,
I think Tony could do it. To be honest, I think he's okay.
I feel that has something to do with why Cody left AEW, but he doesn't elaborate on why he left. But I think
imagine if it was Punk.
No, I think it's cool. I think it's cool with Punk. Other than that, Jade Cargill now is WWE bound. They played her. She showed up for the first time on TV during the pre-show of Fastlane.
Yeah, they aired it on the pay-per-view as well.
And the only reason they did it on the pre-show is because it was at the same time Collision was on
really?
on TNT. So I see you. But I've never seen
it again on the pay-per-view. I've
never seen someone being presented like this, like a new signing being presented like this in fucking forever. I don't even remember like
what issue I have. Well, the sports guys, right? So
like Gable Stevenson, I guess. But
Gable Stevenson, Cain Velasquez sort of had this kind of treatment.
But she looks like she belongs there. That's my opinion.
One thing I thought that was weird is that she just wears her gear like all the time.
Yeah, there you go. It's a wrestling show. You got to be prepared. Mm-hmm. My favorite.
I thought she might do something, but you know what I think is going to happen?
Yeah,
I think she's going to beat Becky for the NXT title, and then I think Becky and Seth are going to take a break together.
That sounds very probable. I don't know if you. I mean, I do want her. When you present someone
if she's
new,
good enough, but that's how they're building her to me. And
I know. They don't often do it, but I love when WWE or any wrestling company presents a new wrestler that crowd has not seen, and they immediately win a championship. Like that's how they did it with Paige. Even though she is on NXT, but when she showed up on Raw for the first time, she immediately won the Divas title, and that makes you feel like this is legit. This is the big deal. Same thing with KO as well. I think the reason why I'm such a big KO fan is because he just showed up. I'm like, who the fuck is this guy? And then I'm like, it's just another guy for Cena to beat, and then he beat him. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I think the thing with the NXT title as well is she doesn't have to be on Raw or SmackDown every week, right? She can show up there sometimes to do a storyline here and there, but then she can be at the PC all the time, right? I think it would be a solid choice.
Yeah.
And like, who cares? Right? Like about the NXT title. You know what I mean? Like, she could make it more important. I think Becky's building it probably for her, in my opinion.
Could be, yeah. I can see that happening. But since we mentioned Fastlane, should we get on the road on the Fastlane.
Yeah.
My
biggest
pet peeve of this fucking show is that every time they did the replay, you had the like, it annoyed the shit out of me.
It scared the shit out of me. It scared the shit out of me every time I was watching it. Because I was actually on a bus while I watched this. So I thought like, oh my god, we're under attack.
No, it's just you're on the road to Fastlane.
I didn't watch the pre-show. Is there anything we should talk about except for what we just talked about?
It's just Jade Cargill. There's nothing. I think there was an. I only saw like Byron Saxton talking to Paul Heyman backstage, and then Paul Heyman just freaking on him. He's like, "Bring Kayla here. She has integrity," and that's it. And they were like, talking about
where's the Fink? Paul Heyman has like dementia. He's like, "Where's Howard Finkel?"
I like the little touch he's doing with his hair. That he's like, he's too stressed. He doesn't even dye his hair anymore. So that's pretty dope.
Yeah, pretty funny.
The show opens with. Do you want to say something?
Nope.
The show opens with undisputed tag titles. Judgment Day versus Jey Uso and Cody Rhodes.
First comment on this before we get into the action.
Yeah.
The longest three entrances I've ever seen in my fucking life. I felt like the entrances took 15 minutes.
But they're a little hype.
To be honest.
Except maybe Judgment Day, no, but the Jey Uso entrance with
Cody's dies after he leaves the ramp, and Jey was in the ring for like too long, and I don't think the crowd were that hot for it. At that moment, they weren't that hot for it.
Another pet peeve I have, Jey Uso waited till he came on Raw and he started wearing blue, which just pisses me off, man.
But it's wearing red between him and Jimmy, right? Like, because they're wearing red with the bloodline.
It's just me. His new music sucks as well. It's just like, it's just me, Oos.
And then there's also one where he's like, "It's all on me, Oos." Yeah. Jimmy's more talented rapper, but less talented wrestler. So,
actually, I think I think there was only one singles match on that show, which was the main event.
Yeah, it felt like the tag team back-to-back tag team matches like was a bit.
Yeah.
By the end, like they murdered the 6-man tag because of that. To be honest, they could have put like the women's match in between. To be honest, just saying.
The match starts like a WWE tag match. A lot of working. One of them, Cody was on the outside.
Like a jobber, if you ask me.
Yeah,
an absolute jobber.
Cody is the guy who got the hot tag eventually. But they were building it a little bit slightly like how Roman Reigns built his matches. Like start slow, very slow, and then just like the last 5 minutes is just insane. Like just the crowd was on their feet at the end. There was so many, like, to be honest, let's talk about the result from now on. All right.
Okay.
Cody and Jey win the tag team titles. First of all, what the fuck? I don't
get it, to be honest.
I was watching going into the match 100% that JD is gonna, like, Judgment Day is gonna retain. Like, there's no way they're dropping. So when they were doing the near falls, I was like, oh shit, pretty good near falls. You know, they're nice, but I know you guys are now winning. But when he got hit,
near fall, just while you mention it, that Finn Balor pretty much didn't make it for. I don't know if you remember it. It was I think Cody was pinning Priest, and Jey had just taken out Finn at ringside in front of the announce desk.
Yeah,
and there was a 3 count where like I think they were a little bit further into the ring than he thought they were.
Yeah,
because the ref could have called 3. Basically.
Damien kicked out. Actually, Damien like raised his shoulder like very last second. There's a spot where Damien does the Hurricanrana and you don't see it, but if you just look at him, he doesn't rotate. He just lands on his head and his knee slams the fucking mat. That's why he was holding it, and then they weren't filming him after that.
Maybe he was supposed to cash in.
Maybe. I mean, he was fine yesterday on Raw, so all good.
Okay.
JD comes out, or first of all, Dom and Ray. I almost called her Ray. Rhea. Rhea. Rhea come out. Jay tries to rizz up Rhea, and she's like, and then he's like,
one of the funniest. I was on the bus. It was like 1:00 in the morning.
Yeah,
and it still made me laugh out loud. Corey called Rhea a succubus.
Yeah. Jesus Christ. They use the fucking briefcase. They bonk Jay on the head with it, and I'm like, yeah, that's it. And then he fucking kicks out. I'm like, what? What the fuck are they? What are you doing, man?
The briefcase is like Thor's hammer. It's like Mjolnir. Normally it murders anyone.
And then Damien puts Cody on the announce table, about to put him through it. And then JD goes to hit Cody with the briefcase. Cody ducks. It hits Priest. It's a pretty good hit. Like it looked like it hurt the way he buckled his knee after that. And then he was like, and he just stood there. And then Cody punched him. And then he was like. Then he, like, I don't know if you noticed that, he fell down. And after he fell down, he was like, like he was doing his best fucking Jordi El Nino face, like
I was
at the beginning of a porn.
The same thing. But one thing about that exchange with the table, I don't like it when they tease putting someone through the table in the first match, because everybody knows it's not going to happen.
Maybe
they're not just going to sit there for an entire pay-per-view with no announce table.
They can put it back together. It's like a Lego piece. Come on, it's not a big deal.
I don't know.
Then, yeah, after they do that, Cody hits Damien with the crossroads on the table. Looks good. Looks all right. Goes back in the ring. They hit. To be honest, the sick double finisher.
Yeah, that was cool. And did you hear on commentary? Cole was like, that almost looked like a 3D.
It's a 1D, Cole.
Oh, whatever. That was me. I fucked that up. Whatever. Anyway. Yeah, did you? I don't know why he referenced that. Like, that doesn't really.
He said it said almost like a 1D. So, like, okay.
Yeah, I understand, but why is he like.
Maybe to be like, yo, he's still in the Roman story. Because today or last night on Raw, he shows up and he was interviewed by Michael Cole, and he immediately asked him, like, what does this mean for your pursuit against Roman Reigns? So I think they're still doing Cody Roman at Mania. I think. So if this plays out a little bit into like the relationship between Jay and Cody, because now they're all like buddy and they're chill and yeeting together. So maybe I'll like it. I didn't expect it.
Survivor.
Yeah, we'll see. I didn't expect to win. Yeah, maybe.
Maybe at what's that pay-per-view called? Elimination Chamber. Maybe it'll fall apart at the Rumble, for example. So maybe they'll stay together till the Rumble. They're both in the Rumble match. They both want to win it. They end up eliminating each other. They have a match at Elimination Chamber, number one contender. Cody wins. I can see that.
Yeah. Cody's first taste of gold is the tag title. Whatever. Jay leaves the Bloodline to go to Raw and be a single star, and the first thing they do is put him in a tag team with Cody where he wins the title. Whatever.
I mean,
the match, but the match was pretty good. I like the match. The result, not so much.
I just think it weakens Judgment Day, to be honest.
Yeah,
and I think that they should have lost the ending of that tag title reign. Should have been the beginning of Priest Balor feud. And the ending of Priest Balor should have been Priest winning the World Heavyweight Championship.
I still don't know what is their long plan, what is the long game or is the end game with JD? Because like it's been so long where he's like, yo, you're in. Okay, you help us. He did well. And then next week he does bad. And then the week after he did well. And the week after he does bad.
So I guess what's going to happen is like he's going to fuck up something big for them. Like this probably isn't that big of a deal. Maybe he loses Rhea the title. Perhaps that's big enough because she's like the leader.
Yeah.
And then Finn has to pick a side. And I think you'll probably go with JD in that case.
with his
I think
mini
that's what's gonna happen.
with his mini me.
His mini me, yeah. But yeah, I don't know. It's just weird to me. I also don't see, like, we talked about Punk coming back, right? So let's say Punk does come back, wins the world title night one. What do you do with Priest? Like, what do you do? He loses to cash in?
Ooh, good question.
And he's not going to cash in on Roman or Cody, right?
No.
Like, not happening.
Maybe.
Like, if Cody wins it, he's getting a reign. Like, not as long as Roman, but maybe 6 months.
Maybe he does the big brain move like Austin Theory and cashes in on the United States Championship. Come on.
He goes for the NXT Championship. Who is the NXT champion now? Braun Breaker? Who is the NXT champion?
It's Ilya Dragunov.
Okay.
I learned a couple of days ago that Austin Theory real name is Austin White.
Yeah, the son of Herman White. So Austin Theory is a Guerrero, greatest wrestling family of all time.
Let's go.
You have Gory Guerrero, Eddie Guerrero, Chavo Guerrero, Dominic Guerrero, and
Chavo Guerrero Jr.
Chavo Guerrero Jr. And you also have
Hector.
The fucking wrestler that we were just talking about, man. This is the end of the joke and I can't remember his name. Austin Guerrero. There we go.
Austin Guerrero. Then we move on to
Pizza
the
Hut.
second.
This is the Pizza Hut. No, this is the Pizza Hut that came next.
Yeah, are you going to talk about the backstage one? Like the
both of them. I don't have much to say about both. The backstage one, all I have to say is like the ad is really stupid and like dumb but funny because Woods is there. But also it was just great to see Booker T back on a main roster page.
Yeah, I love Booker, man. Like I watched No Mercy. He's so fucking funny. Like the whole time he's just commenting like this, man. What the hell's going on? Oh yes.
The thing is, like, it's a gimmick. And I love because if you watch his actual podcast, he's like,
he's normal. He talks
chill.
normally.
He's normal and chill, and he's like very reasonable and like I don't think he has the greatest mind for the business, but like, you know, he says some sensible stuff. Yeah. And then as soon as he's on camera in WWE, he's like,
Schism.
He reminds me of like fucking Rush Hour. Like he reminds me of Chris Tucker from Rush Hour.
Maybe Chris Tucker when he's old.
Yeah, Chris Tucker now.
I like that they included Booker because, you know, there was that clip of him ordering food on NXT, which was fucking hilarious. Yeah. He's like, oh man, can I order this on Tuesday? He should have said that. Do they deliver on Tuesday?
I have to say that like when Woods brought the pizza to Cole and Corey, that shit looked dry and cold. No, I like pizza. It's pretty good. Like we had like it's good and the buffet is nice, but like that pizza looked like ass.
They definitely sprayed it with some stuff to make it look extra shiny. But yes, it's the
Kevin Patrick sprayed it with some stuff so he could get back in commentary on Raw.
It's a Pizza Hut segment, which is another tag team match. Kind of weird. It's a 6-man tag. LWO, which is. I think I brought it up on the last. Let me just lament here for a second. Yeah.
I think I said it about the Cinnamon Toast Crunch episode. No, that was on the unreleased SummerSlam podcast that we did.
Yeah.
But I'm saying it again. These branded matches suck. I hate it that it just like we have this storyline, this dramatic comeback of who will say who later. We have this tag team match, you know, personal storyline between two teams, and it's just Pizza Hut everywhere, just plastered all over the fucking place.
You gotta make that extra profitable quarter, you know, for the investors.
Sure.
It's LWO, which is Rey Mysterio and Santos Escobar versus the new Hurt Business. I don't know what to call it. Like the Street Profits come out to their own music, and they're basically the same. They just, I guess, look meaner. I don't know.
They wear suits. They're rich.
And yeah, not a lot happened until, you know, the big moment. I don't know. I put in quotes. I'm happy to see him back. But there's just one spot that I was like, it's when Bobby holds Ray outside of the ring, and then my favorite wrestler, I forgot, Angelo Dawkins. He goes to punch him. He misses, but he still hits himself, so you can hear the slap. But then he punches him again, and Bobby just drops Ray like on his head.
Yeah.
I'm like, bro.
Bobby did this sick ass Spinebuster on SmackDown Friday before. It looked like disgusting. It's so good.
Yeah.
Just wanted to say that.
And on this one is like, bonk, bye.
You just forgot how to work.
And yeah, my comments on this match is like, it's just the Street Profits. Like, there's nothing different about them. Like, Montesport is still funny, even though he's like supposed to be mean, but he's still funny when he's like shouting at the crowd. He's like, do you see this? This is strength. Let's go.
Yeah, I mean, I think the thing is with them, this loss needs to kind of galvanize the whole thing where they're just ruthless now, or it's over, or the gimmick is done. You know?
Yeah, I don't know what they're doing with it. Yeah,
it has to be now that Bobby's like, this is your absolute last chance, and they send some fucking, I don't know, someone out there who doesn't. What tag team doesn't matter? Is there a tag team on the roster that like? Are the Lucha House Party still working for them? Did they get released?
They're all released.
All right. Let's bring Lucha House Party back for one night, and then like the Hurt Business, the Street Profits, just destroy them.
The Headbangers.
Fine. Any tag team, I don't care. Like, as in, they put them through the set, like the LED screen. They kill.
They
like,
go.
Basically, by the end of the segment, you're like, we could have. Maybe it was a murder. We don't know. It's ambiguous if they kill them or not.
They go APA on them, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. And then next week they both come back with like a teardrop tattoo on their face. That's the progression.
They end the segment with Michael's like, ladies and gentlemen, we're sorry to announce that the Headbangers are dead.
Cash Wheeler is in the building and he has a gun.
The whole thing just builds up. Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead. It's because like Carlito comes back, right? We already said that.
The whole thing is just a build up to Carlito coming back. And where is his music, man? What the fuck is that shit that they played? Too.
Where was my whole comment? I wrote the entire thing out.
Where is
I'm
the
a Carlito guy? But where was I spit in the face of people who don't want to be cool? I don't even need the original music. Just that line. Get Beth Phoenix to record it. I don't care.
This whole segment just made me feel like Vampiro. Where's the fucking music?
I'm also here for Chris Masters' return now as well.
Ooh, Masters of Cool. Holy shit.
Rumble, I think, could happen. For one night, he can come back.
Yo, yeah. I mean, Carlito in the middle of the ring, and then they hit the music, and I'm like, oh shit.
Yep.
No, I'm down for it too. I think Carlito and Chris Masters can be a good mid-card tag team. Like fun, but also solid. So yeah, maybe that happens. But, but yeah,
from what I've heard, Chris Masters is a much better worker these days than he was. When he was at WWE. So
yeah, and yeah, Carlito comes, clears the house, hits the backstabber, 1, 2, 3. That's it with that fucking god awful music.
Doesn't have an apple in hand. Not a single apple inside.
I hope they rectify this shit. I hope that the music is back on SmackDown because this is
a message for Paul Levesque. Okay.
Because
I thought it's about to dice. Oh, sorry, go on.
No, I was about to say, Sean Ross Sapp tweeted like the only reason I can imagine why Carlito took so long is because they forgot to license the music and they had to come up with something god awful in 10 minutes. That's why he was so late to the match. Next up, it's the women's triple threat. Io Sky versus Asuka versus Charlotte Flair for the undisputed women's championship. Or is it just the women's championship? I'm not sure. Oh, the WWE women's championship.
WWE women's championship.
Yeah.
And then you have like, you know what? Sorry, before we talk about the match, because we're now the names of the belts that come up. Why do they have the WWE women's championship and the WWE women's heavyweight championship when the heavyweight championship is clearly a secondary title? It never fucking gets defended, ever. So why not just call it like the women's continental championship or something?
I don't know, man.
Clearly a secondary title. And to be honest, the women's roster is not that deep that you need to split them across two brands.
I am a fan of one main title, one secondary title, one tag title, one woman title across two brands, because then that'll just make shit exciting. I don't know. It's Like, the only thing I'm hoping for now is that they fucking give us some new tag titles, and they're just like, I'm liking that there's unified, that it's just they're fought on Raw and SmackDown, and that's it. Because this whole shit is just too much to keep up with.
I don't mind two world titles for the men, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because there's enough main event level male talent in the company to support that. There is not enough main event level women talent in the company to support it at this moment. Potentially in the future there will be, but at the moment there is.
It's because
you also have the NXT women's title, right? Like, that's already 3
that's
world titles.
Becky is having matches on Raw with it, so it's basically being treated as a secondary women's title, like a mid-card women's title.
It's been fucking more prominent than the women's world heavyweight title or women's world title, whatever it's called.
Like, Rhea is basically doing the Dean Ambrose when he won the US Championship. Like, yes, he held onto it for long, but the reign was like boring. Nothing happened.
She's doing good work, but it's just nothing to do with the title. So she should just, like, to be honest, I think she should just vacate it and be like, I'm going to chase the actual world title. Someone else can have this toy.
Nia and Shayna are on the looks.
Thrilling matches, dude. Wow. The last time someone cared about a Shayna Baszler match.
The thing with Shayna, man, like, she is great and I like her, but they've done this so many times where you're like, oh, she's a killer again, but then she loses the match. Like, they don't go through with it. They did it with Becky the first time. Then that she lost at Mania, and then Becky fucking vacated via pregnancy. They did it again with Ronda recently, and it was the most boring ass match that
was the
ever.
MMA rules, right?
Yeah,
that was the MMA rules match. Yeah. Cool.
And now they're doing it again. We're like, oh, Shayna is a killer, but
she's going to lose.
Probably
again,
gonna lose
for sure.
Yeah, I don't know if it's just. Wait. I don't know if it's just me. You're like, talk.
Hello?
Okay. Sometimes it's just like delayed. Like, I hear the audio and then the video is delayed, but it's all.
That sucks. You should be able to fix it in the edit, right?
Yeah, I'll do it. But yeah, it just happens from time to time.
Okay. Anyway, this match, it was fine, in my opinion.
Yeah, it was a good women's triple threat. I definitely thought Charlotte is gonna take it. Charlotte's gonna win.
You want to know why?
Because it was triple threat.
Do that? No, because it's a B show. They're going to save it for Mania or SummerSlam for her to win the 15th.
I just don't like. I don't know. I'm not into Charlotte that much recently. Like, her whole thing
was very into her as a babyface. To be honest,
was she a babyface?
Well, on SmackDown and on the pay-per-view, they cheered everything she did, and I think she was the babyface in the match. I think. I
don't know. I was a big Charlotte advocate, but now she's like kind of samey. Like, her whole thing that she comes in, wins the title, then like drops it to someone, makes them a star, I guess, and then dips, goes to the other title, and just rinse and repeat. Like, she's basically the Brock Lesnar of.
But her matches are not different enough for that to be interesting. Like, Brock's matches were different.
Yeah. I was surprised that Charlotte took the pin, in the triple threat match, which is either good or scary, because that means he was gonna have to do the job on the next match.
What's the next pay-per-view? Is this Survivor Series now?
I think it's Crown Jewel.
Oh. What's the next real pay-per-view?
Survivor Series after Crown Jewel.
Okay. That one doesn't count. Admit it. Come on.
Bro, it's not in the most progressive city. It's in Riyadh.
But I wonder how it's going to fly now because like UFC have the relationship with like Abu Dhabi. Because they have like their center. Is there going to be some tension
I think they're cool.
Yeah.
I think they're cool. Yeah.
Okay.
They're gonna have maybe Sui on the show.
Sui.
That'll be insane. But yeah, just a good women's triple threat. Nothing really to write home about. The right person won, in my opinion.
One thing to write home about. Sorry. To contradict you immediately. The greatest thing about the Triple H reign is that they name the referees on commentary again.
Yeah. Let's go.
Michael Cole said his name like 4 or 5 times.
Yeah.
Love it.
Makes him human, bruh. Not just the official. Next up, Pat McAfee comes out. And yeah. I said that on the first episode, on the last one. And when John Cena came out, Pittsburgh and Payback, it was like, I'm trying to bring WrestleMania to Pittsburgh as a joke. Yeah. And now that's actually what happened. Pat McAfee comes out. He's like, I'm trying to bring WrestleMania to Indianapolis. And we're like, yay, America again. Cool.
Yeah, let's do London. Makes sense, right? I mean, I think it will happen in London, so they can and will beat All Out's Gate, because they will beat it. To be honest, for me, it won't even be a competition. They will hammer 81,000.
There's the difference is when you're saying we're gonna bring WrestleMania to Indianapolis, you're only making the people of Indianapolis happy. But when you say I'm bringing WrestleMania to London, you're making a whole fucking continent happy.
Mm-hmm.
So
Italy's sell out, and I would pay good money to go.
Holy shit.
To be honest, it doesn't really matter what it is, what it costs.
Yeah. I mean, hopefully it's soon, not.
It's coming.
Just like MVP. Next up is Cena and LaKnight versus the Bloodline.
Wait. Sorry. I forgot to read my notes before you started talking, but Corey Graves is on fire. Because he also said Pat McAfee was at some kind of high school football thing earlier in the day, while he was commentating on it or whatever, or he had his like podcast show there, and he was like standing in line to meet someone at that thing, like something he said in the promo was like he was standing in line, and Graves just cuts him off on commentary. He goes, Pat McAfee was standing in line to open a fridge. I thought it was fucking hilarious.
Corey Graves is really channeling his inner Bobby Heenan, and I'm here for it. Still, my favorite Bobby Heenan call is during the barbershop segment with Sean and Marty, because when they like shake hands and hug, and then Bobby's like, yeah, I know they would do it, and then fuck, I forgot the segment now. Let's move on.
Who's PH? Why can't I think of PH? Paul Heyman. There we go. Sorry. I note here that the commentators were like being incredibly out of pocket against him, because they were like, he's so old and gray. But they brought it up like every 30 seconds, like just how decrepit Paul Heyman is.
It's probably a Vince call, if I'm being honest. Like, call him old.
Call him old. Hey, Hunter, are we allowed to say the word testicle and keep the PG rating? Can we say testicle? Okay, Cole, call Paul Heyman a testicle.
My first note of the match is even before the match, I just said LA Knight is the only person other than The Rock that would make driving in a Slim Jim car look cool.
Yeah, I agree.
Like when the car show was like, what the fuck is this? And when he came out, I was like, let's go. Slim Jim.
The only thing I would have popped for is either him coming out or like an actual anthropomorphic Slim Jim was driving the
car. My second note on this is, what a pop. Holy shit.
Braun Strowman is. My God.
Yeah. Holy shit. Like, LA Knight is getting like really, and maybe people say this with like, with the rose tinted glasses, but LA Knight is getting, in my opinion, Attitude Era-esque pops. Like, I haven't heard a wrestler so over, and I'm not shitting on LA Knight, but he is not like the most exciting wrestler to watch. But to be honest, neither was The Rock or Steve Austin. They didn't have like insane. They're good at telling a story, and that's what makes LA Knight. Because like to get a crowd to just chant "yeah" at every fucking thing you do, like you just clothesline, yeah, clothesline, yeah.
Not even everything you do. Pat McAfee just went like this, and the crowd,
yeah,
like he doesn't even have to do it, and that's like, it's like transcendent. It's like what? Like that's just a thing. I think is just going to be a thing in wrestling now. Basically.
I agree. He is. I'm happy to see where he's headed, because I wrote in my notes as well, in a ring where Cena is wrestling for the first time on pay-per-view in a while, people were chanting LA Knight. They were like LA Knight. I'm like, holy shit, this is the real deal.
I think I brought it up last time as well, but there's a lot of criticism over the summer with like, didn't win Money in the Bank, was part of the Slim Jim Battle Royal. Yeah. But I think they're building him in the right way. Because, he won the Slim... He was in Money in the Bank, really over there, did well, almost won, created a lot of moments there. And that cemented him as being, like, in the mix for titles. Not like he's going to win one, but he's in the mix. Okay, the Slim Jim Battle Royal, that was just to get him... They had nothing for him, probably. And that was to get him on the card so he was visible. Fine, he won it. That's cool, you know? Lots of people that have won those kind of battle royals have gone on to do stuff. Lots of people who won them have gone on to do nothing, right? So it's hit and miss. Then you had last month. What did he even do in the pay-per-view last month?
He faced The Miz.
The Miz, right? Yeah. So he had a feud with The Miz, and The Miz is like, I would say, a gatekeeper of the mid card, of the upper mid card. To be honest, I think you kind of have to go through. There's a group of like 5 to 10 guys. You have to go through a couple of them to get out of the mid card. My opinion, or
but he was title. He immediately went from Miz to working with Cena, and I think it's because Cena wants to work with him. Like Cena sees something in him. Like all the time that I was seeing the stuff he was like, the faces he was pulling with LA Knight, I couldn't help but feel bad for Austin Theory, because Cena just fucking hates the guy. That's why like the thing didn't get over.
But I think the reason Cena might like...
Austin doesn't have what LA Knight has. I also have to say that.
But this is what I was going to say. So I think the reason Cena might like LA Knight is because he sees part of his own career there, because LA Knight wasn't really given anything to work with, right? And he got it over. Cena, was a prototype. He was given nothing and he didn't get over. He was on, the chopping block basically, and created this rap gimmick with Stephanie McMahon, right? And that got over. Yeah. But he wasn't really given that. That's just part of him, and he made it work. Because the rap gimmick is also like not good. It's not a good gimmick.
Okay.
It isn't. It's fun, but it's not a main event.
No,
he took it much further than it could have ever gone with anyone else. You know what I mean?
It's not. Okay.
In my opinion. So I think when he looks at Theory, who's not a particularly good promo, who's fine in ring, but has been given every opportunity, like he was Vince's golden boy, who was put in with all the NXT main eventers, like he was in Gargano's group, who was him and Ciampa were the NXT main eventers at the time.
Yeah. When
he came up to the main roster, he was immediately put with Seth Rollins, the guy who, if it's not Roman Reigns, it's Seth Rollins, right? That's the 2 top guys in the company, basically. And he couldn't make that work. He couldn't get over with that. LA Knight was given the Maximum Male Models or whatever that's called. Is that the name of their group?
Yeah.
He was given that, and he was renamed, and he still managed. Okay, obviously Hunter rebranded him, but he still managed to not let that. He managed to get that out of the crowd's mind almost immediately and get over with nothing.
And he was a heel when he had his first feud, which is Bray Wyatt. And as much as we love Bray, that feud wasn't really the strongest. And he lost that feud, but he somehow came out of it the winner. And he kept just the movement caught on. And he's just like probably like it is insane because the man has like, the same set of moves that he pulls at every match. And it's the one that pops the crowd. But it is insane how, like, if I want to go to a WWE show now, like the one that I want to see the most is probably LA Knight. Like, from the current roster.
Yeah. And the thing is, one thing I'll give him in terms of his in-ring ability, he sells the best ladder pretending to grab the shit that's on top of the ladder ever. He sells it like we were okay. Maybe he didn't look as good on TV. I don't know, but even compared to the other wrestlers who were trying to take the briefcase, it was exceptional how much I believed he was going to get it.
Yeah, I agree.
No matter how long he was up there for like probably 45 seconds at one point trying to get it. And realistically, that action takes 4 or 5 seconds to do if you really want it. And I still believe that he was actually doing his best to get it off the hook and he just couldn't. So say what you want. It's all about telling the story, and that's what he does.
And now he's getting a little bit mixed up with the bloodline, you know, with the Roman stuff. So that there's something to play with here. I think maybe it's a little bit too early. I don't think they should do LA Knight versus Roman now because I know he's not going over, and I think it might hurt LA Knight. So I don't think they should go for that now. But
I think that's the thing with the way Hunter books stuff, right? It's all these like. It's why I think you text me yesterday, no, whatever day after the paper after. I keep thinking this was Roadblock. What's the fucking name? Fastlane. There we go. It's almost
Freelance.
Freelance, yeah. Saying that this might be the hottest era since the Attitude Era, or the best era, even better than the Attitude Era, or something. I can't remember what you.
I said this is like the closest we can, or the second best era than the Attitude Era, because I feel that almost everyone on the show is over, like regardless of what is their position on the card. Like when we went to see Money in the Bank. Even though like a lot of matches weren't really the strongest, but I wanted to see Gunther. I wanted to see Riddle. I wanted to see Butch, even though he was in the Money in the Bank championship or not championship ladder match. I wanted to see Logan Paul. I didn't want to see the women's tag.
Yeah, but then that even turned it around with the twist, right? So
yeah.
So, but that's kind of what I'm getting to with this. The way that the show is being booked now is, this might be an unpopular opinion. It's a Vince Russo style booking. To be honest, it is. In terms of the fact that everyone on the show has some kind of story.
Oh yeah. Okay, I know what you mean.
Everyone, and that's his he does a lot of bullshit, but that's his basic philosophy, right? That everyone there should have a reason to be there, which is like a TV show movie way of writing, which is better than wrestling booking.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Yeah.
Not everyone feels important. Like Bobby Lashley and the Hurt Business don't feel important, but they have some kind of thing that they're like. Bobby Lashley's trying to make them more serious, right? They have a goal, they have an obstacle, which is whoever they're fighting, they need to get there. And the other thing that makes it better, which is not Vince Russo style, but just the thing that's making it more interesting now, is that it's not like I'm on my storyline and I'm interacting with people who are in my storyline and that's it, and everything is in isolation. You have LA Knight giving a wry eye to Paul Heyman. You have Cody and Jey getting involved on something that's not necessarily for them. You know, like, it feels a bit more chaotic. It feels a bit more like we're not watching a TV show about wrestling. We're watching a TV show where people wrestle. Yeah.
Like the go home angle on SmackDown felt like straight up out of the Attitude Era. It's just chaotic. The insane pops, like for the surprise appearances, and you got also some of that tension when Jey music hit. It was like, oh shit, what's gonna happen now? And all of that, we haven't even started talking about the match. I mean, the match was fine. It wasn't anything.
Yeah, I mean, it was John Cena and LA Knight. They're not the greatest wrestlers in the world, right? So,
but it was insane that Cena was the one who's getting jobbed, and they were building LA Knight for the hot tag, which is fucking like the levels of that is just insane.
And the thing about it was, at the beginning when they came out, everyone wanted LA Knight to start. They didn't want to see John Cena wrestle.
yeah.
They didn't want to see him wrestle.
That's how big the guy is, and I'm all here for it. I wrote in my notes here. I said it's one of the first times that I think Solo looked a bit menacing. Like, this is one of the first times I felt that he's like, oh, this guy he's the enforcer. He's gonna beat people up. He gave me a little, because a lot of times they're like, oh, he reminds him of his uncle Umaga and all that stuff, but I never saw it. I think in that match he looked a little bit like the real deal. Like when Jimmy tagged out, I was like, oh shit, here comes the powerhouse.
Yeah. I just don't think they've given him enough to be interesting when the Bloodline breaks up. So he's got to do something significant.
He has to fucking...
I mean, I think we're all agreeing that the Bloodline's over one WrestleMania, after WrestleMania, right? So
I heard the plan is that Cena, before he like ends his current run with the current full-time run with WWE, he's gonna put Solo over. But it has to be a good build.
Crown Jewel, I guess. So it's going to be the next 3 weeks, right? Because they're projecting the actor strike is also going to end soon, and his current bookings is up until the 27th. So the SmackDown before Crown Jewel.
Yeah. I also thought a little bit that Jimmy is a little bit annoying. I don't know if it was like his gimmick, like I'm supposed to be annoyed, or he's just, he thinks he's the shit, but I was not having it.
Gimmick. It's his gimmick. So I think what we're going to see on Friday is Roman put him firmly into his place, to be honest.
Yeah. What am my note after that, it says big ass hot tag in parentheses. Yeah. Cena fucking hit a cross body on the top rope. That was and it was clean as well.
Well, maybe this is probably his last run where he doesn't need to specifically worry about getting injured.
Yeah.
How old is he now? 49? 48?
Yeah. Around that age.
Probably he's got, I would say, another 4 years left where it's like a Mania match every year.
Yeah.
This is the last proper John Cena run, unless there's another strike.
He was clear about it in the press conference. He was like, "I'm here until the thing is done," and that's it. Like, he didn't try to sugarcoat it. He was like, "I'm here till the strike is done, and then I'm gonna be back. I'm gonna leave." So I think they're just gonna keep the Solo thing on the back burner, and then when the strike ends, boom, Cena puts Solo over the next pay-per-view, and then that's it.
Yeah, makes sense. But then I said that's not enough of a character to go solo.
I guess, yeah. I don't know. Like, they're trying a lot to make him the next Umaga, but man, Umaga just had something different.
Umaga didn't work, but Umaga also didn't work, right? But good gimmick, good mid-card gimmick, had a good match against Cena as like a big challenger, someone that's believable, but never ever would have worked as the man. That gimmick wouldn't work.
Maybe. I don't know. We'll see what happens with it. But yeah, the whole takeaway is like LA Knight is still fucking over as fuck. So yeah.
One thing I'd like to say is that WWE never properly acknowledged the fact that Umaga died, and I think that's a shame.
Yeah. R.I.P. Umaga. Next up, the main event, the only singles match on the show. Seth Rollins versus Shinsuke Nakamura, last man standing for the WWE heavyweight.
Booker T versus a slice of pizza.
I loved his look. Like Xavier Woods was explaining. I don't know who the was it Wade Barrett?
Wade Barrett. Yeah. Because he was like Wade Barrett was like, "I've got some bad news," and then he was like, "No, even I don't have bad news. I love Pizza Hut." It was funny. It was a funny segment.
Woods is like explaining the thing to Barrett, and then Booker just like.
Okay,
my first note on it is just like, I just hate every time Cole calls Shinsuke Shin, like he's like his buddy or something. Come on, Shin, like shut the fuck up, man. I love Michael Cole, but don't call him Shin,
especially when he's a heel.
Yeah.
I think they should actually full name him every time.
Yeah,
when he's a heel.
Yeah,
like he should be Shinsuke Nakamura every time.
This two matches or this run he had with Seth is probably the best he's ever like been represented on the main roster. Like, and I thought I'm a huge Shinsuke fan, and I thought what they did to him is like irreparable. Like he will always be like a mid card guy, but they did some good shit with the build. The key was just let him be himself. He was speaking Japanese. He was looking fucking crazy the whole time. He looked like he was holding a fart the whole time, but it just works. Yeah, the match, I think this match was like probably one of the most entertaining last man standing matches I've seen in the PG era, in my opinion. Because every time there's like a last man standing match, I'm like they really have to work that thing into it. A lot of them just be like, yeah, we'll do a normal match, and then you just pretend that you can't get up for like 10 seconds.
One of my favorite last man standing finishes was Cena versus Batista. Cena
I knew
from a pectoral tear.
I knew you were gonna say.
I don't remember who taped who. I think Cena taped Batista.
Yeah,
he
yeah.
duct taped him to the side of the ring so he couldn't get up.
That's genius. I don't know. People fucking shat on it, but that's genius. So they start off in the ring. It's going. Shinsuke's targeting Seth is back, and they're really going good back and forth. Really good back and forth, and then Shinsuke started introducing the weapons. I really like the weapon involvement in this match. I thought that, there is like everything they use there's an intent behind it. Not like, hey guys, kendo stick, whoop-pow. Hey guys, steel chair, bonk.
Shinsuke did look like he took a small bit of an unprotected chair shot to the head in this match.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Then the action spills to the outside. I mean, Seth takes out 2 tables and he puts Shinsuke. Does he put Shinsuke? I don't know. Someone goes through it, but it doesn't fully break, which was...
that was Shinsuke. Because then Seth like hurt himself was the story.
Yeah.
Like he aggravated his back doing it.
And then the action spills to the crowd. They go onto a platform. Apparently, there's something about pay-per-views and jumping off platforms now. Kevin Owens did in Payback. Now it's Seth Rollins.
Kevin Owens a much more insane thing on Payback, though. So that's...
My comment on this one is like, there's one guy in the crowd wearing an Austin Theory shirt. Exactly.
I just don't understand how you're into like they have like especially what they're doing now with him and Grayson Waller. That's like,
oh man,
if this was 2006, that would be on fucking Heat or Velocity. It would genuinely. It would.
Shinsuke looked like a killer the whole time. Like he looked like he wants to hurt Seth. He wasn't there like just to win the title. He wanted to hurt him, so he can't hold his daughter and look his wife in. Like that was in the promos. Like, I'm gonna hurt you so bad you can't even hold your daughter. Like, Jesus Christ, dude, relax, man. Just wrestling, okay?
Ow it.
Yeah, have you seen that Key and Peele sketch with like 2 UFC fighters like in the promo? And Peele is just like, yeah, I'm gonna go in the ring, I'm gonna beat him up. And then they got Key doing like a Brazilian fighter, and he's like, I'm gonna crush your esophagus that you cannot take a breath anymore. Then you're gonna be sitting next to your family, wheezing. and then they cut back to Peele and it's like, yo, this is for a promo, right? It's not legit. And that's how I felt every time fucking Seth cuts a promo or Shinsuke cuts a promo on Seth. They do a thing where
I wish he did it.
Actually, during the match, I was like, last time I saw Last Man Standing, it was, I think, Shinsuke versus AJ Styles, and there was a lot of balls involved in the situation. Yeah. So I'm like, it'll be funny if...
Great.
Like, it'll be funny if Shinsuke hit the balls. And he did it. He did it on the stands. He low-blowed Seth Rollins and pushed him to the floor. He landed on a crash mat. People are getting like so hot about it. He landed on a crash mat, but they filmed it in a way that, I mean, you see the crash mat in the beginning, but the way they filmed the whole spot, it doesn't look like he's landing on a crash mat.
You know who said it? Jack Perry's the one complaining about it.
Yeah.
Real concrete.
Crimea River. So yeah, they go back into the ring, and then if that wasn't good enough for you, Seth actually takes a fucking pump on the actual concrete. Jesus Christ, man. that was on like, relax, man. Relax.
Like he didn't retire last night on Raw.
Like when you hear the flesh on the concrete, that made me cringe. Then they fucking do the fucking table spot, man. He puts him on a table and he jumps knees first. And he fucking guillotines himself on the barricade. Bro.
I was actually surprised the table broke.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Again, relax, fam. That's my whole reaction to the whole match. Every time they do a spot, relax, fam, relax. They one thing I also mentioned it when I was watching with my girlfriend is that I hate how the new tables in WWE just break in half. Like they just break.
Yeah, same. It's too clean.
They don't explode. Still, my favorite table break of all time is Matt Hardy and Bubba Ray in TLC 2 going through a bed of tables and just carnage, explosion of wood.
Mm-hmm. My favorite thing about we're going to talk about in a second. One of the funny things about the wrestlers documentary is on the first episode they wanted to do a table spot and they couldn't gimmick a table on time.
It's so funny.
Yeah. So we had to change the whole story basically because they couldn't gimmick a table.
Seth
if Jack Perry was there, he'd be like, "Give me a steel table. Give me a table made
glass
of 14
table.
plates of glass. Yeah,
real glass.
A real glass table."
Seth
CM Punk guys, okay, you get it now. We like CM Punk.
Seth sets a ladder next to the announce table, and as he was climbing it, Michael Cole's like, "Seth, you're gonna kill yourself."
And Cole goes to Corey, "You've known this guy for years. Say something." He's like, "What do you want me to say? He's all the way up there."
I like that. I really like that.
Yeah.
And Shinsuke sprays mist into Seth's eyes. He falls into the
mist? Like twice on the pay-per-view is too many times.
It's Japanese people, man.
Yeah, but not all Japanese are like, they don't all have the mist.
But I didn't watch the pay-per-view fully the first time. So the next day I just saw like pictures, and then I saw like the mist, and I thought that was blood. I was like, oh, and I also saw mist on Seth's face, and I was like, oh shit, they bladed for that match? Let's go. And then it was just mist, so kind of disappointing. They didn't do the John Cena versus JBL last man standing, you know, or was it an I Quit?
That was an I Quit, but
yeah.
One of my favorite. I think we should maybe like do a watch along for that match or something. It's one of my favorite matches ever.
And also,
sorry, go ahead.
I think a couple of weeks ago was the anniversary of JBL versus Eddie Guerrero, last man standing. The real bloodbath.
That one's like, oh.
That's hard to watch. I can't watch it.
Yeah, the Cena one I can do because Cena was fine afterwards, but Eddie like collapsed.
Yeah.
So.
I thought, to be honest, that would be the finish because I actually wanted Shinsuke to win. I thought this was like probably the best opportunity for him to win. I don't know where he goes from here, but I don't know. It's hard for him now to just put himself back in the title picture because he lost twice and decisively also in the last match, which is last man standing. So I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, well, although like yes, decisively, but he did eat two pedigrees, or no, a pedigree and a stomp, right? So
yeah, and he got he got a Falcon arrow off the thing of the platform into the tables, and
so yes, conclusively, but I don't think it's like, you know, I mean, he had to give it everything, right? Seth kind of had to destroy himself to. There's a storyline where I don't think he's faced Seth anytime soon, but I mean, I think you just keep him off TV now until next year.
Yeah. No, I think it was on Raw yesterday, actually. So
I just watched the highlights.
I think he interfered in the triple threat for the number one contender IC title. That's what I heard. I didn't see.
I mean, him versus Gunther would be a good match, but is he going to win that? Like, no.
No. Yeah, I think. Like now they announced Seth versus Drew for Crown Jewel. Should be fine.
Which is like also whatever, to be honest. Like, who cares?
Should be fun, but I don't know. this
I'm cold on Drew McIntyre, man. I'm cold, and I'm cold on Seth as well. So
he has an interesting story beat now where he's like he's saying that he's a good guy, but he's not doing good guy stuff. So for example, he was like, he told Seth, "I want you 100%, so I'm gonna give you time till Crown Jewel." And then when Damian Priest attacked Seth Rollins, Drew McIntyre didn't do anything. He just stood there and just looked at it. So I like, there's also during a backstage segment, you can see in the background Drew and Rhea like sitting and talking to each other. So I think they're trying to throw some seeds in there. I said in my notes, good snap on the announce table bump. Looked clean. And I also give them props for breaking the half broken table, because that would have been a bummer, because they went back and they broke it for a second time.
I thought it was a good match. I mean,
yeah, I thought it makes
this whole feud elevated the title, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree, because when they first presented it, I was like, oh, so the title, the consolation prize for not beating Roman. But Seth, I mean, he's always been an insane worker, so there wasn't any surprise there. He's literally putting his back into it in this run. And yeah, I think if he keeps having like really good matches, really interesting feuds, then I think probably by Royal Rumble it's gonna be a big deal.
I think the only problem I see with it is Priest is going to cash in on whoever the World Heavyweight Champion is, and if he wins it, I think he kills the momentum.
Oh shit!
He's just not that guy yet for me. Like, I think the way it could work is basically he does the matches and Rhea Ripley is the World Heavyweight Champion.
I was about to say the same thing.
Like, basically do Christian's gimmick with Luchasaurus, but like not in a way that she's delusional. Just like that's the way it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So that was freelance. That was Fastlane.
That was freelance. We do have our 3 questions we normally ask, which is worker of the night, match of the night, and worst match of the night.
Yeah. I mean, we both know,
again, to clarify,
which is the worst match of the night.
Yeah, but just to clarify what those mean, so worst match of the night and best match of the night are obvious. A worker of the night is not someone who had to win, or it could be even someone who is in the worst match of the night, but it's just someone who we feel put in the effort and stole the show in one way or another.
Yeah.
So I'll start with your worst match of the night.
6-man tag. I think it's yours too, right?
It was still good. I like Carlito. I'm happy he's back. I think that was a exceptional worst match of the night. Like, much better than the worst match of the nights on SummerSlam and Payback. For sure. Weirdly,
the fucking B pay-per-views are popping. Like, they're popping. They're putting some good
SummerSlam
shit.
was good too. Money in the Bank was also good. So I think they're just on a good run right now. Like you said, everybody's hot. Everybody has a story. So
yeah.
Right, match of the night for you.
I think here's the thing. All right, hear me out. I really like tag team matches, and I really like, as a match, I like the opener. But the result, I don't hate it. I have questions about it. So I'm gonna do the WWE thing and trust the process and see where it goes. So because of that, I'm giving match of the night to the main event, Seth versus Shinsuke.
Okay. Yeah, I think there's 3 contenders in it for me, which is the opener, the main event, and the LA Knight John Cena versus Bloodline match. For different reasons. The main event and so I would say the opening match is for the match itself.
Mm-hmm.
The main event is for the story in the match, and then the pre-main, which is the Bloodline Cena Knight match, is for the story and kind of what it does for LA Knight.
Yeah.
I am going to give it to the LA Knight versus John Cena versus LA Knight with John Cena versus Bloodline to be a bit different, and because I think it, like, out of all the matches, it does more for some of the people in it than any other match.
I agree. And then we move on to Worker of the Night.
This one always.
Yeah. Ooh, I think everyone really put their ass into it on that pay-per-view. So it's really, I don't know, man. I just keep coming back to Seth versus Shinsuke. I'm gonna give it to Shinsuke. Actually, I thought this was, even though he was on the losing end, but he really did well to convince me that this man deserves this. This man deserves this title. He looked like a killer. He acted like a killer, and yeah, it's a shame he didn't win, but he wins the second best thing since the World Heavyweight Champion, which is Humam's Worker of the Night.
My Worker of the Night is a little out of left field. I think you're probably not going to expect it, but because he didn't work a match.
Is it Pat
I'm going to give it to Corey Graves. I think he sold everything super well. Kind of made a lot of the more dull moments on the pay-per-view very entertaining. So
yeah, I think
the third
Cole,
best prize in wrestling, Rob's Worker of the Night goes to Corey Graves.
Cole and Corey are they're a good duo.
Yep. I don't like how they're calling Michael Cole the greatest of all time. He's the second greatest of all time.
Yeah, I think Cole has really, like, I think since the pairing with McAfee, he kind of reinvigorated his love for wrestling. He's been more excited. I'm happy to see people changing their view on Cole, because I liked him even before. But people hated him because how annoying he is, but people didn't know that it wasn't his fault. He has someone in his ear who made him sound annoying. And I think the first time I kind of realized it, I think it was the first UK tournament, like UK title tournament, because he was commenting on it with Nigel McGuinness, and it was Triple H in the back, not Vince. And Cole was fucking insane on. I was like, yo, okay, this man is legit.
And by all accounts, everyone backstage has a lot of good things. Mansois and Mace, right? Mace had a lot of good things to say about how he prepares for shows and stuff. He works with the talent, asks them what they need to get over, and does his best to get it over. So,
did you hear how Mansoor described, like, he was asked, are you going to come back to wrestling? Did you hear his answer?
No.
His answer was like, he said, no, I'm not going to continue watching it because it's like watching your wife getting fucked by someone else. The love of your life getting fucked by someone else. And the problem is, it's a good fucking. I don't want to, and you're not part of it, so I don't want to watch it. I'm like, damn, man.
Whoa. Watch him come back already for Crown Jewel.
I don't know how the king of Saudi Arabia is going to think about what you're saying here.
That's going to be his number one request. He's like, they're like, bring Mansoor back for Crown Jewel.
He also had a really funny story when he was at a Saudi show. A kid came to him and in Arabic, he asked him, is wrestling real or fake? But Mansoor mixed up the words. So he told him it is fake. But in his mind, he thought he said it's real. And then as he's walking away, he was like, oh my God. But speaking of blurring the lines between real and fake, good segue here. A documentary has been released recently on Netflix called Wrestlers, and it's about OVW. Probably heard about it before. It's where WWE used to send their developmental guys. It's where the golden year of 2002, was it, or 2001?
2002, because Randy came up like after a few,
which had Cena, Orton, Batista, Lesnar, Shelton Benjamin. And but then
later on, you had even more people down there. Like
Beth Phoenix was on it.
Dolph was on it.
Big Show was on it at one point.
anyone you can think of that debuted before 2010 was probably in OVW at some point.
But now is not affiliated with WWE. Now it's its own promotion, and it is booked by Al Snow. It's not owned by Al Snow. It's owned also.
He's
an owner? Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
He's co-owner.
I misheard that. And it just follows a couple of weeks before them promoting to probably they're still doing weekly televised shows, which is insane. Like, they're literally, I know, maybe it's not as equal to WWE and to AEW, but if you have to watch it, but to have a show with all the shit that's happening there that is televised weekly, that is live insane.
Also, right? It's not live, it's not pre-tape. But the thing is, like, and the kind of crux of there's a number of things, like, it follows a lot of the wrestlers' personal stories, but the crux of the issue is it was going to close down because it ran out of money. Al Snow found these two outside investors, kind of, one guy is like a banker, finance guy who has money, and a friend of his who's like a big sports guy in, what's the state that they're in again? Alabama? Louisville. Kentucky.
Louisville, yeah, Kentucky.
Yeah, he's a big sports broadcaster guy in Kentucky who loves wrestling, basically. The other guy didn't get the other... So Matt is the guy who's passionate about wrestling. I don't even know the other guy's name.
The main guy.
The other guy just seems to kind of be a money thing, and he wants to fund this, but Matt's really like in on it.
The other guy made me feel, he looks and feels like a tame, he looks and sounds like Tony Khan, but not on cocaine.
Yeah, exactly. But I want to talk about him a little first, and then we can maybe get into the other storylines. But yeah, as you said, it starts like a few weeks, 6 weeks or something out from their big pay-per-view event.
The big one.
In terms of the big one. In terms of the promotion's future is on the line, because they're losing something like $15,000 a month. And basically the two owners are like, we don't need it to lose nothing anymore, but we need it to start making something. Basically, it needs to stop losing this much. So they run this summer tour all around the state and the bordering states, leading up to this big pay-per-view event. That's like, if the pay-per-view does well, the owners are willing to keep funding, and if it doesn't, then they need to have some tough questions about whether they can do live TV and if they can keep the promotion viable at all. Basically. So the big storyline on the show is about the owners and Al Snow and their relationship, particularly Matt, this kind of sports broadcaster guy. And I hated this Matt guy to begin with. I thought he was like obnoxious.
Yeah,
and
same.
Like,
they did a Hank with him. They did a Hank with him.
Exactly. How the wrestlers felt about him. He was kind of, because he was rude and he was obnoxious and he didn't get the business. He didn't understand that it was about respect. Kind of came in and tried to dominate everything. But by the end, because it goes into like his childhood, how he loves wrestling, and they do an interview with his mom, you find out that he has like anxiety and epilepsy. And he wasn't like this jock in school. He was like a nerd, and he just is very talented at what he does, and he got rich, and you learned a lot about him, and it really turned a corner on him for me.
The end of episode 3, like, I was eating when it happened, the one where he gets the seizure, and I was just like, I was in silence. I was speechless. I was like, what the fuck did I just see?
And from that moment, they start to swing him into like, okay, he's starting to get it. He's learning to work with Al, because they butt heads up. Basically, Al would want to book, and I understand, actually, to be honest, where Matt's coming from with the business. So Al would want to book these like stories that are week to week, and you really have to follow. And for Al, the story is the primary, which I think it should be, because he's booking the show, right? The problem. However, Al obviously doesn't care about money.
No,
I think it's very clear from the documentary he doesn't care. So this guy would kind of come in at the beginning and be very heavy-handed and be like, no, you can't do this, or you need to do this because we need to make money, or you need to do this and that, or this guy needs to do this, or he try and tell the wrestlers basically how to do their job. By the end, he kind of cracked how he can guide the company without trying to guide the wrestling part. Yeah. Which I think was very cool journey to see.
He still tries to put his own thing in it, the Kentucky University versus Louisville, or I don't know what it was. Sure. It's just like a local thing. But yeah, it's a really, really good watch. Like, they don't hold back. They're very honest. Like, they're like, this shit is losing money. I don't know what to do about it. And it is very funny how they're showing you the human side of the wrestlers, but they're all also just characters. Like, even as humans, they're all characters.
There's some people, like, I felt like in the very first episode they get them, or it might have been the last, I don't remember. It was the last.
Yeah, the last.
Got everyone.
After the credits, everyone said the real name.
Yeah, and the one guy who was like the Reverend was like really reluctant to do it. Yeah. I feel like, man, to be honest, I feel like I've seen him work in real life when I was a kid. They do these like tours here.
Mm-hmm.
It was like €5 to go and see, and like Gangrel, for example, came.
Maybe. Because
and I feel like I've seen that character wrestle. It could have been him. I'm not sure.
A lot of them were like on also old school TNA, like when they were all young. Like they showed some clips of them when they were like just starting out, especially like Cash Flow.
Cash Flow.
That guy's has been wrestling for ages, and to be honest, he's probably him and Shira, Mahabali Shira, are like probably two of my favorite people because they're just like, they feel like locker room leaders. They're doing everything for like they want to do business. They're not trying to put themselves over or trying to be like, yo, this is about me. And especially Cashflow, like he's been doing this for so long. And I honestly feel like those two, alongside the other main character, which I'm going to mention after this, those two really deserve a chance to like work with either AEW or WWE, especially Shira. Like Shira, when I saw him in the beginning, I was like, yo, this man, like, because when Al Snow was like, yeah, I made Shira the champion because fucking look at him. I'm like, you know what? He got a point. Like, I was looking, I was like, yo, this man belongs. He should be in WWE. And then you hear the story that he was there. Yeah.
But that's the guy they were looking for when they did the gender thing, to be honest.
Yeah. And I think this guy, Shira, is really like, he is very... He could be a good champion. I don't know if he'll be a really good NXT champion. You know, I think he can like lead the NXT for like be a good main champion for a while. He's really good. He does well, you don't see a lot of the wrestling, so you don't really know how good they are in the ring. But some of them, like you hear from the passion and how they're like how much wrestling means to them and how much, like Shira, for example, he has all his family back in India and he's like living in fucking Louisville, Kentucky, just to wrestle for the small crowd or the small local crowd. But he loves that shit. He wants it.
I would like to say that they all talk about how they have like such little money and stuff, which is like, yeah, fair enough. They're not getting paid that much to wrestle. But still, like, their houses are like 5 times the size of houses. Like, and they're like, yeah, man, we're broke, dude. Like, I'm so poor. It's like, dude, you live in a mansion right now. What the hell?
Yeah.
Like, Shira's house looks pretty nice.
No, but he shares it with the guy. He doesn't show up often.
Think about it. If you got that place, how much would it cost us each? Probably €1,000 per month.
Yeah, maybe. But it's also Louisville, Kentucky, so you also have to keep that in mind. But
that's what I'm saying. It's like, yeah. Anyway, but yeah, I agree. I think Shira could go somewhere, but also like I think he could. It's weird to me that he's not on a bigger indie. Like what's wrong with him that he's not in TNA still, or that he's not in NWA?
Yeah, that's also because he goes a little bit into how he was in WWE, like he was part of a Performance Center recruit, and then he got released. He doesn't go into why he got released, and he was like, yo, it's fueled me to become better. And I think he has good like work ethics, work etiquette, and I'm hoping that WWE is watching, because they are watching.
He's a little bit older already, right? He's a little bit older already, so that's the
WWE is watching, because I've heard that they offered probably the most prominent character that is not Al Snow and Matt on the show, which is Hollywood Haley J. They offered her a tryout. She didn't make it because of like logistical reasons, but they offered her a tryout, and she is probably the most. I think it's the most complicated character on the show, because in the ring as a character, she's young, but she gets it. She knows how to work the crowd. She knows what to do. She knows, like she has that young MJF energy.
She got that dog in her. You got that dog in her.
But outside the ring, there's so much going on.
Too chaotic for it to work in a major promotion, unless. So I don't think it would work in AEW. I think she would work there for a few weeks and get released because they don't have as controlled an environment as WWE have to develop talent.
I agree.
She went to the PC, moved to Tampa, left everything in Louisville behind. I think it could work.
Yeah, and left everything.
When I say everything, I mean that guy.
I was about to say that fucking, what is it? Darkstorm or something?
Eric Darkstorm. Yeah, Eric Darkstorm.
He's a character, man. I don't know how to feel about him. It's really it's fucked up. There's a lot of fucked up shit that happens in it, and they're not pulling any punches. Like there's one episode where a wrestler gets caught, I think, snorting cocaine, and he gets arrested.
No, it wasn't cocaine. It was something, I don't know what it was, but yeah, it was
something illegal, something
weird. Yeah. And
he gets arrested, and then they have in a later episode him coming on and like talking to Snow about like, yo, I want to come back, and then Al telling him like, yeah, we have to take it slowly, and like they don't hide shit. They show you everything, which I think is very. I'm just wondering, how did they convince them to be like, yo, we're gonna film everything?
Money.
Probably,
money, I guess, right?
Probably.
Yeah, but there's a lot of interesting stuff in it, and I actually read this morning that like some guy is the OVW champion now. It's someone who wasn't even in the documentary.
Oh, the UK guy, the one who looks like
Tom
Pachiri
from Cultaholic.
Yeah,
posted it. Yeah.
They're
looking for bookings, but yeah, I mean, I would watch season 2.
Yeah, definitely.
Even if it was like completely new characters, except for a couple, like Al would still be there, and
yeah. I think this was like outside of. I think Dark Side of the Ring is more like essays, not really documentaries. It's more like, yo, this happened, and we're gonna reenact how it happened. This was like a true documentary. I think it's, if you are a wrestling fan or you're remotely interested in wrestling, I think it's a must watch. Like there's a lot of good storytelling in it. It's filmed very beautifully. Like the cinematic scenes that make everyone, like the one where they were filming Al Snow training for his match and his voiceover. I was like, damn, it's better than like any, like they should put that in a WWE package before his comeback.
One thing I was thinking as well is that like one of the Basham brothers is
I was so fucking surprised.
Doug Basham, right?
Yeah, but he seemed chill. Yeah, he seemed chill, cool. Yeah. It's everybody's love for what they do really comes through the screen. Like all of them, like you see that you don't do the shit they do for how little they're getting paid if you don't really love the shit that you do. So they're all doing it out of passion, out of love. They love wrestling. And it is admirable. It is admirable to see a lot of people putting a lot of effort into. Yeah. And one of them actually gets, at the end of the show, she gets signed to AEW, which is pretty dope to see as well. One of the female wrestlers.
She looked like a star to me when I saw her.
Yeah.
Visually.
The funniest shit on the show is when they were filming Al Snow in his office, like just talking, and this guy certified walks in, cuts a shoot promo on Al of why he is the best wrestler and why he should be a champion. And then Al's like, I'll consider it. And then he's like, thank you. And then he leaves. And then the producer's like, what the fuck was that all about? And I was like, I don't know. It made me laugh so hard. And his name is pretty dope, Certified.
Yeah. You didn't see their matches on Dark at the time or anything, did you? Like Cash Flow or...
I looked it up. I couldn't find it on YouTube. So I thought maybe... Because when they announced it, I looked it up. I couldn't find it. So I was like, oh, maybe it didn't go through and it's going to be like part of the show. But no, they showed later that they were on the show. And yeah, it's nice that Tony, or like, you know, a mainstream wrestling promotion is, what do you not lending a hand, but like giving people at OVW an opportunity to be more at a national exposure and all that stuff, even though it's dark, which is on YouTube, but it's still the crowd.
I do agree with Al, what he said, though, that it doesn't actually do anything for AEW.
What do you mean?
It doesn't do anything for OVW, sorry. Because, like, they go there to job, and it doesn't say, like, cash flow OVW wrestler or something. It just says cash flow.
I don't think if you're watching Dark, you're going to be like, oh, I want to go hop on and watch OVW on Thursdays.
Yeah. So, I agree with what he said, but I can see the other perspective too, where you could then advertise like cash flow as seen on AEW. Maybe someone will come because of that. I'm not sure.
Yeah, but their crowd seemed to be very passionate about it. Like they had the local crowd that loves coming and watching the matches. They're into the. I like the episode dedicated to death matches, and I loved Al Snow's like when the producer, what is a death match? And Al Snow's like something fucking stupid.
Yeah, I like it was part of the Attitude Era. A hardcore champion. He was like something fucking stupid. He was in ECW as well. That's where he did the head gimmick first, right?
Yeah. I did really like they probably filmed it in a very cool way, but I think the tag match, the final tag match, looked pretty dope. Like Al looked fine. He didn't look like gassed up or anything. And the crowd. I thought
they would put a bigger beating on the guy though. To be honest.
Yeah. And I really like the ending shot with Al with the head, and then like it just cuts away to his time in ECW with the head, and then cuts back to it. I was like, it's kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
I mean, I would be up for season 2 for sure. So hopefully we get it.
Same. It's a must watch if you're watching this podcast or you're into wrestling. Go watch Wrestlers on Netflix or wherever you can get it from. It's pretty good.
Mm-hmm. All right. One last question that I want to ask. One prediction about wrestling for the next month, and we'll revisit it on the next podcast. What's going to happen? And it could be anything. One prediction. So we're probably we'll do another one.
It's gonna be
after Crown Jewel.
Yeah,
after Crown Jewel, but a short review of Crown Jewel, because who cares?
I don't know. I mean, the big one is Punk is coming back. That's my prediction. But I think
it's gonna be
till Survivor Series.
Yeah, so that'll be the December podcast.
Wild prediction. Drew is winning the title.
All right. Interesting.
What is yours?
For me, I'm going to go with something I said earlier. Jade Cargill to win the NXT Women's Championship.
Okay. Let's check in together the episode 3 and see what we got right.
Mm-hmm.
And if you made it this far, thank you very much for listening. Thank you very much for watching. We're running a little bit over. It's because we're being counter-programmed by Cultaholic Podcast. So we bought some 10 extra minutes to...
Yep. Yokozuna is going to be on the next episode of Squared Circle Podcast sessions.
You heard it here first. There you go.
I was just bringing up, if in case you don't get that joke, I was bringing up the fact that the Saudi guys asked.
No, I got it.
I was giving it for the benefit of people listening. That they asked in the first Saudi pay-per-view for Yokozuna to come, and that's why they had that sumo wrestling guy in the Greatest Royal Rumble.
Akibono, let's go. The greatest Japanese wrestler.
They should have got Butterbean and dressed him up like a sumo wrestler.
That'd be fucking hilarious. And I don't think they would tell the difference even. Thank you very much.
Trying to end this thing.
Thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for listening. We'll see you on episode 3 of the Squared Circle Sessions podcast.
Yeet.